So on Saturday, approximately around 3:30 in the afternoon, officers received a phone call of shots fired in the 100 block of Otis Street. Officers responded there at a gas station beside a car wash. When they arrived, they found an adult female. Her name is Chandra Eason. She has suffered gunshot wounds and was pronounced dead at the scene. We had several witnesses and good video footage of that incident. Citizens came forward, they stayed at the scene, they came forward and gave officers excellent information. We were able to get a good physical description, a license plate of that vehicle, and through the quick detective work, the officers that arrived and set up that scene, interviewed those witnesses. We were able to determine our suspect. His name is Jerome Uzzle. He is also in his early 30s. They were married. He got into a vehicle and fled to an address that we were able to locate in the 700 block of Peninsula Drive. Chief Randall and other officers responded to that scene and set up a perimeter, while myself and Chief Grinstead stayed at the scene with our homicide detectives and the officers as we dealt with witnesses in coordinating the homicide scene. The vehicle that he fled in was parked in front of his address there on Peninsula Drive. So again, we set up a perimeter. Chief Grinstead called and activated the SWAT team. They began responding, but we did have a very good perimeter set up at that location. A picture of Mr. Uzzle was sent out to all officers. We were able to obtain a photograph of him. We sent that out to all officers and what we'd had and what had occurred. As the perimeter was set up, about 2 hours later, so about a little around 5:30, Officer Robert Stewart was in his vehicle, sort of at the rear part of the perimeter with a ride-along. Robert and Macy were sitting inside the vehicle. When Mr. Uzzle approached that vehicle from behind, he took position on the left side of the vehicle, which would be the driver's side of the vehicle, in an ambush-style shooting, fired multiple rounds inside the vehicle. Officer Stewart was struck, so was Macy, and Officer Stewart was able to return fire. Officers began to collapse on the area to move towards where the shooting had occurred. There were several citizens in the area. You can understand a little bit of the commotion there. Officer Brendan Kidder was one of the first to come in contact with Mr. Uzzle. He drew his firearm, gave him commands. He fired his firearm. At some point, Mr. Uzzle was struck. He fell. He got back up and was able to make it a few more feet, where he was taken into custody by Chief Randall, Captain Bullhurst, and other officers at the scene.